We'll start with the profile tool. I'm going to start at my origin, make my first point, make a vertical line. I want to lock into that origin there. I'm going to click and hold, turn the corner, and make a tangent arc. But I also want to lock in a 90-degree right edge there. And then I'm going to continue on with my line going forward, locking in that tangent relationship if I can. Click, drag away, and release to form that 3-point arc, locking in my 90-degree angle, making sure that it's horizontal with my original line on that other side. And then drawing down to the baseline where I started. And you can see that that horizontal line turns blue to help guide you to that connection. It kind of helps you create symmetry whenever it's possible. Click that point, go back to the origin, and finally click that point there to end off my closed loop. So now when I deselect, I'm going to have a couple of lines and a couple of constraints that are automatically generated for me. Now in order to make this fully defined, I'm going to need to add some constraints. So over here on the constraints toolbar that looks like this, I've got length constraints underneath our typical constraint tool. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on the line segment that I want to populate, and I'm going to place my measurement. So at this point you should be going, okay, 3.712, maybe not the right number that I want. But more importantly, is it inches? Is it units? Is it feet? So if you don't know what unit system you're in, always is a good idea to go up to Tools, Options, and decide and determine which one you want. So underneath General, you can use the little negative sign, plus sign to expand that out. Parameters and measures. And then 3 off to the side is going to be units. And then if you click into the length measurement there, inches, we're going to change that over to millimeters. And click OK, and that's going to set our units. So notice it converted the measurement that was already there, but it didn't change the number. So if you had defined it as 10, it would still be 10 inches or the equivalent to in millimeters. I'm going to double click on my constraint, and that will bring up the value information there. So I'm going to go ahead and click 100. Then everything that you enter is going to be millimeters until you tell it otherwise. That being said, if I wanted to, say, create a constraint on the right-hand side that was in inches, I could do that. I wouldn't really want to, because you always want your variables to be consistent across your drawing, but 50 millimeters instead. Now notice that when I created the 50, it didn't turn all the way green yet. And you can see on the left-hand side here that I have a V showing that it is vertical. So I don't have that on my right-hand side. So instead of using the length constraint, I want to use the constraints defined in the dialog box. I'm going to make sure my line segment is selected, click into my constraints, and choose vertical. I could go in and create a line segment, length measurement, and set that to 50. So when you have arcs, the easiest way to constrain those is going to be by using a magnitude, and that's going to be still underneath the length constraint. But instead, when you choose the arc, it's going to convert it into a radius value. And if it's a circle, it'll be a full diameter. But anything less than a full circle is going to be radius. I'm going to make this be 25. I'm going to do the same on the one on the left. And now my entire object turns green, meaning it is fully constrained. And I can check that down at the bottom, use sketch solving status, and that will come up and show me that it is indeed ISO constrained, meaning it is fully constrained.